Tiny Grimes opened the door, and then once you get a Tiny Grimes record, then you got to go Bill Jennings and, you know, Teddy Bunn, and, you know, the list goes on and on.
So if we have to tell these guys out here, like three players that you gotta have. You gotta be playing blues, even from the, not just West Coast, but you gotta be kind of like an all-around blues guy. What do you need to have?
Oh man, well, I would number one, I would get an Otis Rush record. Number one, I love him. You know, his vibrato and stuff. You know, and depends on what you really want. I mean, I listen to every kind of music. I don't play every kind of music, but there's so many great guitar players all the way around. I just listen to every kind of music because I get some. Like the other day, I was trying to figure out where did I get this from. I figured out it's from Foghorn Leghorn cartoon I saw when I was a kid. It goes, which way did he go? He goes. And that's in a cartoon that I probably saw when I was 11, but, you know, it stayed in my mind. Who knows who's playing on those cartoons, but there's a lot of good guitar in cartoons, too.
Now, with you being investigating in the styles, what about guitars? I mean, you know, this is kind of unconventional.
Well, this is my, I hope it's going to be my signature guitar. It's called a DTT guitar, right?
DTD.
DTD. Yeah.
So far.
So far. But, you know, it's got Stratotone pickups on it, but we got Don Mayer working on making some unique pickups that are very similar to a Stratotone pickup, and maybe partially a P90. Who knows what's going to happen. But it's cool, and it's got the biggest neck. It's wide like a 12-string. Anyway, that's not your own.
No, so
we're going to get to that.
We're talking about. But anyways, first guitars, you know, you came down with.
First guitar I got, and it was a good guitar, was a 330 that I bought at Music City in San Jose with one pickup in the middle, and I saved my lunch money, and I bought it for $65. And it took me 7 months. Back then you had the layaway plan, you know, even if you didn't have a dime, as long as you came in every week and gave me some money.
Yeah, layaway, something else, man. So after that, you know, guitars after that?
Guitars after that. The next guitar I got was, and I don't remember how I got it or what happened to it. I think I left it at somebody's house. It was the Howlin' Wolf guitar, National. It looks like a Les Paul shape with floating pickups. You know the model name of that?
I don't remember.
Dan has the coolest one. I found it for another guy, Frank, on eBay. It was just a body under projects, and it's a mother of toilet seat one.
I think it's an Ozark, James.
Ozark, yeah, but not the one with the sunburst with the other.
No.
That's the deluxe one. Anyway, best sounding guitar I ever owned, and his sounds amazing too. The pickups are unique to themselves, and they float on the top. Anyway, so there's a picture of Howlin' Wolf. Everybody believes that it's Willie Johnson's guitar because he's standing in a grocery store and it looks like a ukulele because Howlin' Wolf's so big. So I had that. That was my second guitar.
So that's cool. I guess what I'm trying to get at is how did you go from what was conventional to that over there?
Well, you can blame Rick Holmstrom for that. Well, by the way, I just have to interject one thing. I watched pretty much every show that you had. I'm honored to be here in the company.
Oh.
Kurt, Rick Holmstrom, Paul Pagat, fantastic man. So I just wanted to say that.
Well, good. I'm glad. I'm happy you're happy to be here. You know, 'cause I'm happy to have you
It was
here.
really cool watching everybody else. Rick is hilarious in there too.
Yeah.
He was great.
So I have this is kind of a personal thing because it is a music school.
Okay. Good.
You know, and I do teach, and I try to solicit advice from people I bring in here so that when my students say, I guess Tom was right, he wasn't full of shit. You know. So, and you've taught me. You've put up very patient with me.
Oh, yeah.
Been very patient.
I try to be patient with all students. You know, really.
So, I guess what I want to say is, what kind of regime do you have for your students, or how do you know? What do you expect out of your students?
I just take it from what level they're on, and I try to build them up from small building blocks from that point up.
Right.
So, you know, it's different for everybody because you don't know what they can really do to begin with, or what they know.
Right, right.
But lately, I've just been going on this kick, you know, that I think I told you about it, you know, how C is A minor, the minor third. So this is a thing I discovered years ago. You could play rhythm or solos just in A minor and C. Play a C chord and I'll show you in the car. You started, you're basing all your solos around A minor. So you go.
So good, that answers my question, because I go with my students saying that, you know, you go with the, go through the Mickey Baker book.
Absolutely.
And the Mickey Baker book is a good book?
You know how I got the information on the Mickey Baker book? Anybody hip to Moby Grape? Okay, well, I grew up in the Bay Area there. You know, I mean, when I moved from Tulare, I moved to San Jose, so I was going to the Fillmore all the time, and I saw every hippie band known to man. All of them. The loudest bands to the quietest bands. But one of my favorite bands, for the sheer fact that it was one of the first Bassman amps I ever saw. He played a Bassman sitting on a chair with an L5, Jerry Miller, and it was fantastic. And then after that, he had a band called the Rhythm Dudes with an organ player. And two reasons really baffled me and intrigued me about his style. He was so loose, and he played unbelievable chords. And I came up to him one day and I go, "How'd you get all those chords like that?" And he just said, "Mickey Baker book 1 and 2, and it changed my life."
Did you go through book 2?
Didn't get all the way through it.
You know what's funny is I was
But I got bits and pieces of it.
It was funny because I was sitting with Kid, Kid Ramos, up, and he starts playing all this stuff. I go, "Where'd you get that?" "Mickey Baker book 2. I said, "What happened to Mickey Baker book 1? "Oh, I never got that book."
Whoa, hey, man, look out. Easy now.
I know I was a funny guy, not that funny. So anyway, so it's a good book, correct? You know, this sounds
fantastic
good.
book. Well, look, this is where I got this whole bit. Where you're on G. Here's 3 chords that are on G, all tight. So that's in the Mickey Baker book, and I figured it's, and then like this. There's 1,000 swing songs.
Yeah.
It's right in there.
Absolutely. So for $2.95, or
no, it's actually about $7.95.
Nowadays it is, yeah. Well, it's $2.95 you pirate now, I guess.
Easy now.
Yeah, for sure. So great, got the book, and then let's get back to you getting back down to Southern California. How did that happen? How do you go from San Jose to with Bill Stuvey?
Well, I had recorded a record called Blue Bay with Gary Smith. And basically it was like a compilation of all the different bands up there that this label wanted to put. So you had Charlie Musselwhite, Ron Thompson, Sonny Rhodes, High Tide Harris, Gary Smith Band. And I'm leaving somebody out, but anyway, you know, Rod Piazza was looking for a guitar player because his guitar player was sick. I think at the time it was George Phelps. And Gomes had been coming down to L.A. playing with T-Bone Walker with Rod's band, you know, like doing it. Rod would open up and then they'd bring T-Bone out. So Gomes said, I talked to him, I said, "Hey man, get me in there." So Rod said, "Hey, I need a guitar player." And he goes, "What does he sound like?" And he goes, "Well, I'll play you that cut off that record." And of course we're doing a little Walter sounding song, right? And I'm sitting there going, you know. And he goes, "That's all the guitar I need to hear." Call him up. And the amazing thing about it is when they picked me up, the first gig, no rehearsal, no nothing. He just told me some songs, you know, which was all the stuff I'd been doing with Gary. Nobody But You and all the little Walter encyclopedia. Here's who picked me up at the door. My heart was going like this. Shaky Jake, George Smith, Smokey Wilson, and who else? Johnny Dyer. And we went up to Oregon, and I mean, I was dying laughing by all these guys' stories. It was fantastic.
Oh man, do you have a couple good stories you can tell from those guys?
Oh man, well,
or that's PG or?
No, everything's cool.